Look at all that mess. I don't know. Don't ask. I was going to say look at all them chickens, but there's only one dog and a bunch of mess. So I vacuumed and the dog got out her toys and there's remnants of polyfill all over the carpet. Then I get done with vacuuming and I'm sitting down. And I know that looks green, but it's not. It's pretty clear in there. And I sit down to listen to the trinkle of the fish tank, which I need to take care of. Because Bigfoot has a stream tonight. And I don't want everyone to feeling like they need to tinkle. Because sometimes my mom comes over and if the fish tanks aren't topped off, she feels like she's going to tinkle. Anyway, enough weirdness. Stop making it weird. I was just sitting here thinking as I'm driving my daughter bonkers. I was like, hey, are you doing your studies or are you on your phone? So she gets up from the nest that you saw just a minute ago where the dog is now and goes into her room. And I'm like, well, while you're in there, if you're not going to do your studies, you have to clean up your room. I have a lot of things to do in my own room, let alone worry about what's going on in her room. Then I got thinking, I'm like, okay, well, I want to go over to this person's channel and that person's channel, and I went over to Prepper Tribe because I was like, I haven't heard anything from Tribe in a while. Nisi and Tribe. Love those two. So I went over to their channel and I'm unsubscribed. I'm like, so I left a little note saying so. And I watched the video, and good video. Get done with that, and he puts up another video, and I'm like, okay, well, at least I got notification. So I put that on my community page because he's got some information to tell you all, and I would tell you here, but then you wouldn't watch his video. So you have to go over to Prepper Tribe, watch his video. And it's in my community section. If you don't have his channel, you can find the video there. And when you're there, make sure you subscribe. And I go over before that. Before I sat down, I watched TJ's video with her cooking cookies on top of the stove in a frying pan. So you gotta check out that too. And this morning when I was doing up some of the house cleaning and whatnot, I was folding laundry and I was over there on Trust in God's channel. You gotta go over and check him out too. So as I'm chit-chattering, sitting down, doing absolutely nothing now, I have so much more to do, but yeah, I've done so much already. I'm thinking about going over and checking out some bushcraft family and Ark Wildman Survival, because I haven't been over there in a while either. And I stopped by to Hutch's the other night, but I was on the phone, so I didn't fully watch everything that was going on. So I went over to Backwoods and to see what he had to say, because he went over to Hutch's house, where the hospitality apparently was like so awesome. And, it's nice to see this brotherly and sisterly love in the community. And I'm finding that more and more people are also noticing the brotherly and sisterly love, the real brotherly and sisterly love that we have in the community. From the bigger channels to the smaller channels. It doesn't matter whether you have a big channel or a smaller channel. It's the person that you are. Like pinball, preparedness, and Prepper Now. There's some bigger channels and they're good peeps, and Prepping 101, and there's something I want to talk about. When you know people for so long, you have this instant connection with certain people. And then there's these people that you like their videos and you like them, and then after a while you start noticing some stuff and you start feeling things, and you're like, well, why am I feeling this way? God gave us this awesome intuition for a reason. And, I listened to those things, so I was like, well, I probably should listen to that. But then I got thinking, with my stinking thinking, just ignore that. It's fine. You're just paranoid. You're just being silly. So you still watch these people, and, but then there's just some certain something that's off. And then people start kind of noticing the same thing that you did. And then eventually a year later, people get to kind of talking, and you all are feeling the same thing. And then there's other people that find out that, well, you know, hey, and then we get to chit-chatting, you know, and you feel bad because it's like, well, why, you know? And then one day, you all find out, one by one, group by group, on why. So listen to those intuitions, okay? Because they usually end up being right. Well, anyway, on that note, the wind has finally stopped windying outside, and it's a high of 53 degrees. And, oh, by the way, squirrel, I made Littlefoot a grilled cheese sandwich in the waffle maker. I took bread, buttered it up, put the cheese on, another piece of bread, buttered it up, stuck it in the waffle iron. It was pretty cool. You would think you had a mess, but see them waffle irons? Those are non-stick. Good idea. Go check out my community page. I have some pretty cool channels that I've been sharing. They're not like probably well-known or bigger channels, but they have some really good ideas. So I may take some of these ideas and kind of do my own thing, and might put out a video. Some things I've done for a long time, but you know, in those videos are kind of a reminder of some certain things. Like sometimes you throw out garbage. Like I'm just gonna throw you just off the top of my head. You know those they're kind of expensive, you know. So you fill them with water. This one's empty. You gotta clean out the dirt. It's a pain in the butt. But they're pretty, right? But they cost money. But then you got these pop bottles, okay, up here. So what you do, we're gonna do this because this one's empty. But see, it hasn't been empty long because there's still remnants. So these last days, and you notice I have the thingy on there. So you fill it up. Yep. You see that little drip? Drip, drip, drip. So we're gonna put our hand underneath this and walk it back over to the plant. Now, make sure I get it in there okay. You can hide it better than I do, but I'm not one for how things look, so whatever. But now you have a free, because you've already bought the pop. So now you have one of these things that does the same thing for free. So what you want to do is when you put the cap on, you want to put it on just enough so that way you get a drip. So when you put it down in the soil, that you want to make sure you get not a fast drip, not a slow drip, but a good enough drip so that way when you put it down in the soil, it just kind of drips in there. But as you can see, we have a very happy, healthy plants. Plants up there. It doesn't get a lot of sun, but that plant doesn't technically need a lot of sun. So, you know, and then people, you get busy. And you don't want to water your plants every day or every week. So if you keep those things filled, you go around all your plants. So you just cut off the bottom to a water bottle or a pop bottle, and you got yourself a little thing that waters your stuff. I was also over to Free Handly Maid's channel today. We all like these little squishy little pumpkin things because they're cute. She's making her own. So go over to Free Handly Maids and watch her channel. Ooh, speaking of someone else who does this, what I'm doing right here is Rip Curl Readiness. Yeah. You know why that tank always looks green? It's because it's full of plants. But see, it's not really green. But on that note, I do have to get some of these tanks filled up because Bigfoot Prepper does have a stream tonight. And I can't have y'all feeling like you're gonna piddle your pants while listening to Bigfoot, because we want you sitting there listening. Although you can take your phone to the bathroom, but don't be weird. That's just weird. We don't want to know if you do that either. But yeah, so, you know, these plants, having them all over the house, not only do they brighten a room and brighten a mood, but plants actually, there's certain plants that do this better than others, like the philodendron, for instance, the pothos. They filter out bacteria and viruses in your home. Yep, they do that. Make sure your soil's clean, though, because they can also create mold. You don't want to do that. My dog is walking everywhere I go. She's driving me nuts. She's like Magna dog. Well, anyways, I need to fill this Berkey. And, well, actually not fill it. Don't ever fill these things up all the way because it'll leak from here. So if the bottom has got this much water in it, you can only put that much water up here. Because once it goes, if you have more than that, it's going to come out here and you're going to have a huge mess all over the floor. We had a mouse. I don't know if it was a little field mouse or a shrew, but we had one down in the cupboard. So when I was on Trust in Gods this morning, I made a bunch of racket that I didn't mean to make. And it was because I noticed little things in the cupboard. So I had to clean the cupboard out. I threw a bunch of stuff away. Not anything that was major. I had like this much cereal in a cereal box, and I had an oatmeal container that I had chewed through, and a little bit of pancake waffle mix. So I threw those out, put the oats outside, and check your stuff. And if you have preps, make sure they're packaged in case you do get a mouse. So I guess we're going to be putting around some more Irish Spring. But I don't want to do it in the house because I don't want the mouse dying in the house because that'll stink too. And the dog knew something was here because I told Bigfoot there was something up with the fridge. And yeah, the dog knew. Watch your animals, because if you have something and the animals are acting weird, well, other than the fact that we had a fly in here last night, yeah. Anyway, so I made those Crisco candles. If anyone didn't see them the other night, you take your Crisco or your off-brand, shortening, and what you do is, the reason you use a canning jar is because these things get up over 80 degrees. So you take your band off and you fill it with a Crisco, and then in the middle you poke down a tapered candle. If you don't want to use a tapered candle, then you play with a wick or string or whatever it is that you find easier. Put it away. It's a source of light. 8 hours of light in the quart jars. 8 hours for 72 days. And then you've got these sizes. So for 3 pounds of shortening, I got 3 separate candles, and then I have a little bit that I'll start a fire outside with. But the little one I used a birthday candle in. This one I actually need to do something else because I tried to put 2 birthday candles on top of each other. Don't do that, it doesn't work. So I learned something. So see, I tried them, made sure that they worked. I cleaned off Bigfoot's desk. Hopefully he can find stuff for tonight. All right, well, I just wanted to kind of do a quick little silly little video and give you guys some giggles and shout out some channels. And I'm sorry if I didn't shout you out in this channel, your channel in this video, but I will. I haven't done an actual verbal shout out in a while. And when I started this video, I don't think I really planned on, I don't think I knew what I was doing when I started this video. Can you tell? Oh, another thing. I brought in the plants from outside, and one of the plants that's in with this one is my spearmint, and it wasn't looking too good. But I watered this really, really good with a sprayer from the sink, and it fluffed right up. See that? So now, oh, this one has a brown leaf. You don't want to eat that. There's a couple of brown leaves because it got fried by the little bit of cold snap that we had here. It smells so good. But it's good for tea. Yeah. So bring your plants in. Don't let them die, you know? And then you can replant them back out next year. But some things, you know, come back every year. Like the lemon balm, I want to take some of that and bring it in the house. And then I'll leave most of it out there to kind of do what it does outside, and it'll come back next year. These things spread like crazy. So, but make sure you're zoned for it. Ours came back after 3 feet of snow and many other feet later on. And they're good. But they're good for teas or whatever. I will see you guys later. I'm done being a goofball for the day. Well, until later. All right. God bless you all. Have a fun day. Get something done. I get to play with fish tanks. One more. I didn't forget. But Texas Red Lake has put out quite a few videos talking about some really good stuff. So go over and check out Texas Red Lake. All right. If you guys need help with finding links or something, ask in the chat. Someone would probably be happy to drop the link for you. Or, you know, ask me and I can drop it in there. I'm not going to do a bunch of links tonight. But, you know, I got fish tanks to fill.